And welcome, race fans, to another episode of FEG PC Money Races here tonight at Daytona. 50 laps of racing in the Craftsman truck. I am Jimmy up in the booth along with my co-host, Derek Sherman. How you doing tonight there, Derek?
Good. How you doing, Jimmy?
Not too bad. You know, just looking to see another great race. As last week they went green. They went green the whole way from start to finish. Looking forward to another great race here as these trucks will get out in the field here to do their qualifying, as we have about 23, 24 trucks here. So as a few trucks are still entering, going out there right now to get a qualifying run in to get the best start possible. Some drivers like to start up front, some like to start in the back. Really trying to get used to maybe who's out there. And I see a little bit of calamity coming up a pit road as a few trucks are getting around, getting too heavy on the gas already with early stages of just qualifying. So another good night here though. Let me print out the weather. Let's see, our track is going to be at, looks like 78 degrees, and a nice cool night here in Daytona. Yes, sir.
Oh, you cut out for a second.
Like
everything turned off.
It's just like some motors and stuff that happen. You get some technical difficulties, but the guy's not having technical difficulties right now as they get around here with open qualifying, as they get the draft with their buddies to get the best time possible. They have 5 minutes to get in the best lap possible and to start where they would like to, and we'll see who will work tonight. Will it be somebody that won last week? Will it be or somebody new coming in here? So we got a few names right now. We got Chad Ross, Ron Moores, Joey Allen, Mark Vondell, Kenneth McCullough, Ryan Baste, Larry Bew, Art Greco, Joshua McCullough, Mike Toomer. They're jumping around as their qualifying comes around, but got a slew of people in here tonight. Like I said, looking forward to see great, clean racing put on by pretty much anybody that wants to join. So if you want to join in on a money race, get a hold of Jeff Scott over at FEG PC. You can join his Discord and enter and pay your fee. You get in here and you get a chance to win the prize pool. It's not just a winner, it goes back to a few different spots depending on the amount of drivers in the race. But also a shout out to FEG PC as they Jeff Scott builds great custom PCs, catering a lot to the iRacing community. So if you need anything from Jeff, just hit him up. But right now, the guy on top for qualifying right now is Kenneth McCullough Jr., Derek.
Yeah, I've been watching them, and they been qualifying. They caught that second pack. So I'm just real interested to see how everyone works. It seems like one group and they catch the other group and let them by, and they'll probably get the fastest lap. Andrew Navarro, he did relatively well last week. I believe he was like top 5, and he's in the middle of the pack behind this one. And it's interesting for qualifying. I don't particularly, I like the idea, but it might not work out in my favor where I want it to work. So I don't know how you feel about open qualifying, Jimmy, but it's very difficult, stressful, because you might not get them. You know what I mean? You see everyone bunched up, and you might get stuck at the back or the front and you can't get a run on someone. It's stressful. I don't like it.
Well, here at Daytona, there's no real big difference from starting in the front to the back, with the exception of, maybe missing an early race incident in the middle of the pack. And if you're in the back, you might get collected in it, or you're trying to check up and get involved when you don't want to be. But like I said last week, they went green the whole way. So starting from the back could not, doesn't necessarily need to be a crutch. As plate track racing, nobody can really get away, and it's one thing. I've done some open qualifying for road racing, and it's sometimes, and especially multi-class, when you go out there and you got the slower cars kind of in the way when you're a faster class, it really gets aggravating, especially if you're on a burner or you're the slower car and you're on a burner, then the faster car comes up and it kind of pushes away. You see the 75 getting turned around as Matthew Baker goes by in the 5. But just want to give a shout out to our early viewers already. Relic Entertainment, Baker's mom, Danelda Adams, and Zach Range. Thank you for joining us here tonight. And anybody else that's out there, please give us that thumbs up and subscribe, as we'll continue to do coverage here with FEG PC money races Friday nights and Saturday night. But me and Derek won't be here on Saturday night as we have other obligations, but a couple of the other CRN broadcasters will be here to give you that live coverage. But so far tonight, qualifying is over, so we'll go ahead with the race results as soon as they pop up here.
Your favorite name's on top too, buddy.
Danny. It's getting ready for getting stuff to roll over, but right now, there they are. They finally showed up in this. So our qualifying results will be Danny Eshelman in the 6 on the pole, alongside with Brian Keyser, and then Cody Nagels, Joshua McCullough for your second row, Ron Morse Jr., Andrew Navarro, Jeff American, Dylan Jones in row number 4. Row number 5 would be Steve Seasmore and Chad Ross. And row number 6 would be Jason Maines and Kenneth McCullough. David Sheets and Matthew Baker make up row number 7. John DeRugris and Ryan Bass make up row number 8. Larry Bew and Art Greco make up row number 9. Let's see, forward to the rest of the field here. And then we have Mike Toomer and Zach Range, and we have Joey Allen and Mark Bondell and William Scott bringing in a 23 truck field here tonight. So 3 drivers choosing not to put in a time for qualifying to start in the back, as you can see there on the list. But like I said, at plate track racing, it's not necessarily a bad thing. So these drivers are getting ready to take the field as they're starting to pull out on pit lane and line up, get ready for that pace car to give them the go for start your engines and start rolling out, as they will take 1 lap. Again, Jeff has put into play a 2-lap minimum of when the race goes green, that they cannot go 3 wide. They must stay 2 wide for 2 laps, and then they're allowed to go 3 wide, 4 wide, or whatever it may be. But in order to make this a cleaner race, Jeff has implemented a, which I believe is a great rule, and keeping the drivers 2 wide for at least 2 laps, allowing this race to continue, as there's 50 laps here tonight at Daytona.
Well, Jimmy, you were talking about last week how they went green flag the entire. It's that in itself is amazing, but you also got to think, everything went semi good for everyone. Everyone might not have kept up with the main pack going in the pit road, but 3 green flag pit stops went relatively unscathed. No one got spun, no one got wrecked coming in. And, that's very difficult. You're talking about 2, 3, maybe 4 wide coming in. That was at Talladega, though. This week you were at Daytona, so it's a little bit more narrow, but you still have plenty of room. And Daytona, in my opinion, Jimmy, is going to be a little bit more difficult to come to pit road and not have any issues. It's just so much more narrow. So I'm ready to see that. I want to see if they can make it another green flag pit stop without causing a caution.
They definitely have the talent out there, Derek. And like I said, talking with Jeff a few weeks ago, and he said a lot of times these things go green. So it's good to see that happen. And a lot of these drivers are out here every week, or every day, or every other day, whatever they may choose, doing these races. Real familiar with being around each other. They just go race the race. But right now, Danny Eshelman is going to go ahead and begin this thing. Let me get the track map out here so we can see that up there. And then we'll go ahead and pull up the race info, Jimmy. Race lineup here. We can see where everybody's at. But looking to go green here early, as right now they are in turn 3, heading to 4, getting ready to come down the tri-oval. One thing about Daytona, the start-finish line is in the middle of the tri-oval, not like Talladega, where it's at almost the beginning of turn 1, which can make for some real interesting racing coming for to the start-finish line. But right now, Danny Eshelman and Brian Kieser are going to lead the pack as they come down the front stretch here into the tri-oval. The pace car is off the track, and he takes no time to start bringing those trucks up to speed. It is under green. He gets a little shoved by that number 6, and I want to say number 6. That's actually Cody Nagels in the 12. The 6s and the 12 tonight. So numbers on the trucks matching up to the racer's name on the timing tower, but that's okay. Anyways, Danny Eshelman out front in the lead, coming out of turn 2, heading down the backstretch.
While they're staying semi in the rules, I mean, they can't go 3 wide. I love that rule. Coming down the backstretch, you see Cody Nagels jumping from the high line to the bottom line, coming out of turn 3, going into 4. Who's going to lead that first lap of the race? You know, oh, we got a spinner. Ron Moore is just one to the inside.
Yeah, it's looks like the number 76 of Ron Morse, like you said. Well, let's see if we can catch Ron Morse as he entered pit lane here. We'll just take a quick review what happened. As you can see, he's down to the inside, staying off that inside wall as the field is coming down the tri-oval. So early troubles there for Ron as he is kind of off in the distance. It also looks like William Scott having a little bit of issues early as well in that number 10. So right now out front is Joshua McCullough with Andrew Navarro, Brian Kieser in 3rd position. At 07 of Brian Kieser weaving back and forth, trying to hold that truck under control there as he's behind the 05 of Joshua McCullough. So one thing about kind of getting down in there, you know, you really got to watch and keep control of the trucks as you go into those corners. And, you know, people don't think about it too much, but the side draft really can, you know, move that truck around and, you know, either pull you up or slide you down. And I know a lot of people, they have a tendency to try to hold it flat foot going around here, but, you know, a lot of racing left. We're only on the 3rd lap of 50, so no reason to push things early. Kind of just let things happen, knock some of these laps out. You know, if you're in the back and you want to work your way up to the front, that's one thing, but I think early on it's pretty safe to just ride around no matter where you're at.
Yeah, you don't want to, obviously we got to lap 4 so they can go 3 wide if they choose to, but, you know, 50 laps doesn't seem like a lot, but it is. You know, you don't want to make any mistakes and ruin your chances early on lap 10 or 15. So, I mean, I like the hard racing that we got going on right now. It might get a little bit more dicey after, like, say, probably lap 35. We start hopefully probably seeing some fighting for position.
Barry out there, welcome for joining us here tonight, and Barry going with Jeff Merrick tonight, so we'll see how Jeff can do. Oh, it's that green, a monster machine going down below the yellow line, coming back up to maintaining control of that truck. So, you know, getting down on that apron is always a shaky thing, but, you know, when you're following the leader, sometimes it's really hard to see, you know, where you're at in the track. You really got to have the time in. And wrecking. We're wrecking. The yellow one. Yeah, yellow flag. A lot of people involved here as we wait for things to happen here. And it looks like Jeff Merrick crashed. We'll go back here. We'll slow it down, go for a chopper. We talked about going down low, but that 60 getting involved here as he checks up for the 07 and a few other trucks in front of him. So the 60 is going to get wrapped up. Looks like the 76. Oh, man. Mains, 59. A lot of people checking up here as they trying to minimize the damage here. As you can see, everybody just kind of trying to lock it up as best as possible, not getting anything. The 13 getting in the back of the 2. Unfortunate here, but we must go on, and obviously a few other drivers, getting tangled up in that. But right now, I'm sure those drivers are going to come down into the pits and get things started. But Andrew Navarro staying out of trouble, maintaining lead with Dylan Jones. So our first caution here tonight, lap 6 of 50. Hopefully I didn't jinx us by talking about how great of a job they did last week. But Andrew Navarro and Dylan Jones, and then Joshua McCullough, Chad Ross, Matthew Baker for your top 5 currently. So we'll see where these drivers finish tonight, see who's taking a lot of damage, who's going to go into the pits, who's going to top off fuel, who's going to get new tires, who's got repairs they need to take care of. Because I believe they have one fast repair on the night. So it's if they have a fast repair, it's not something they want to use this early on. But if they do go green and you have lots of damage, you'll fall behind, and then you'll eventually go a lap down. It's not somewhere where any driver wants to be.
No, I mean, I have a number on the amount of repairs I would take would not use a fast repair, but that's a fairly small number for me. What do you think? Do you think would you use it right now?
Now, well, coming in right now, if you take that first lap pit stop, I mean, you don't have to. You can come back around, and if it says, so you got 10 or 15 minutes worth of damage, maybe it's worth coming back in a second time, making sure your fast repair is checked, and then take it then, and then just roll out so you don't lose the pack early. But if the car seems to be okay, have all the RPMs and horsepower, and you're just down arrow, you might be able to just get along by just you might not be able to lead a pack, but you might be able to follow along.
Yeah, it's a tough call to make. I would probably take it depending on it. I would take it. Depending on it. I love speed racing, but it's also what probably made me go bald is all the stress from the strategy moves. Because if you don't make the right one, you're hanging out to dry. It's really difficult.
And that Barry's pick and Baker's bomb. So yeah, poor Merc can't catch a break, and that's about right. just finding himself in the wrong spot at the wrong time. But right now he's in the pits. He's taking as much time to repair whatever he can, as he'll be able to get out of the pits before the field comes around, catch up, maybe get back in the field for a few more seconds of repairs, and then tag on in the back of the pack for a good portion of the race. And there's one thing about cautions that happen at these races is that, cautions can sometimes breed cautions where they happen over and over again. But like I said, Jeff has in play to have these guys do a minimum of 2 laps. It's only too wide, kind of eliminates some of those issues. It minimizes them. The few races that I've broadcasted for Jeff already, it minimizes the early, from the start, incidents. But right now, I'm not looking to have any more cautions as Andrew Navarro and Joshua McCullough as they're out front right now, leading this pack. But we all know that it's just a matter of time. You can go from the back to the front here at Daytona. My favorite additions of the tower is the interval. I like the gap where it gives you basically from the leader to that position. But the interval, especially if these cars spread out, really tells a story of how far it is between each position. And a little telltale, you can see the orange numbers, which means they're within half a second. And then if the numbers are in yellow, there would be within between a half a second and a second. And then when they're in the white, they're over 1 second. So it really gives you a tattletale of when things are happening around the track, who's closing in on who, and if the any gaps are being open. But with everybody all grouped up from the start, we just kind of take things off the screen just a little bit, gives as much maximum viewership here to the viewers out here. And right now it looks like the lights are off in the pace truck or car, excuse me, and they're getting ready to go green as they come out of turn 4, ready to go down the tri-oval.
Yeah, the rest of the cars that needed to repair damage is just finally caught up. You know, that can cause a calamity in itself. Pace cars off and waiting on Andrew Navarro to make it green. Green, green, green. Everyone, let's go racing, boys. Sorry that was a little late, but...
No, I mean, Andrew's off to a good start. Not a track where you want to, like, get on it. You start going, you want to make sure the guy behind you is moving as well, so you don't sit out there like a sitting duck, because that can just cause accidents in itself. But Andrew, you're doing a great job starting this off again for the second time on lap 9. He's going to get a little push there by the 38 of Chad Ross as the 05 goes to the outside. So Josh McCullough in the green monster truck, followed by Danny Eshelman, so in the number 26 on the outside, as they are teammates, and then followed by the 76 there, Ron Morris, also one of their teammates. So teammates hooking up together early, but Joshua McCall is going to go down to the inside, control the inside lane, and let that 26, excuse me, I call him to the side of his truck, but it's Danny Eshelman. He's in the 6, where he's controlling that outside lane.
You know, Daytona, I want to say, like, the top line just works better, but it's also one of those things that you can make it 3 wide, and it's very unherring, not very comfortable making it 3 wide, but, you know, I believe the top line, if you have enough trucks that can run that line, is the fastest lane on the track. So something to be thinking about when you're getting ready for make a move towards the front on the last 10 laps.
Yeah, so 3 wide back here behind position number 11 as the 13 falls back just a little bit, maybe a little bit out of his comfort zone, not wanting to be up there with the leaders just as of yet. But looks like Jeff, you know, moving back up to 10th, so, you know, he has damage done to that truck, but it looks like he got most of it done, and it might just be a case where that truck will not be very good out front, as you see a little bit of front nose damage on that number 60, but that's not down and out as of yet, as he's up to P number 9. Danny Eshelman is leading this thing with Joshua McCullough in 2nd, Ron Morris in 3rd, Andrew Navarro's in 4th, with Zach Range round out your top 15. The biggest mover so far is Zach Range in that number 7 Ford, and I believe that's the Affleck truck. Yes, sir, it is.
I love Affleck, and it's just because of the duck.
Who doesn't like a good duck? Now, I'm going to age myself a little bit here, but, you know, I was growing up, used to watch Howard the Duck quite often as an old school movie, so, yeah, it's a little funny, little duck from outer space, but I think if I watched that now, I think you'd probably just see how bad the acting was back then. But right now, the 7 of Zach Range not acting, putting that number 7 up front, currently sitting in that 4th position.
Let's see who's in the back.
Everybody's kind of crunched up together here. 13 running a little higher side. At 60 of, you know, Jeff Merrick kind of moving around a little bit. He's out by himself, and now so you can see that he's kind of leading as nobody to follow. You can see how he's falling behind, so he's waiting for somebody else to step out. And he's going to be able to use that draft to kind of pull him forward. I just don't think... Oh, no! An accident in front of Jeff Merrick is talking as they go to a wall. We have another caution here. Lap 13 of 50 as it happens in front of the 60. We'll just go ahead and pull that back just here shortly. Wait for see if SDK will catch it. If not, I will go ahead and just rewind this as it happened right in front of Jeff Merrick as we were live.
Don't like to see it. It looks like a little bit of netcode.
Oh, here it is. It was on Larry. I think it was on Larry. No. Yeah, it was on Larry, but that's after the fact here. Man.
It looks like he might have to tow.
Yeah, so here it is early there. As I'm going to just rewind it for everybody. Yeah, the 69 and the 60 get together just a little bit. 69 hits the wall hard, losing the front end clip. Keeping it up to the top side of the wall, though, allowing the drivers behind those two to continue their races. You can see the 59 doing a fantastic job, keeping it up top, not crossing the track. So great sportsmanship there by Larry Bew. And that's what you need to do in these races and stuff. Let the drivers go by. You can probably tell that all the drivers are gone. Gonna turn his wheel just a little bit, swing that truck around, and hopefully it has enough power to go back forward again. But I think at the end there, I think he stopped at the end of pit lane, and it looks like Larry had jumped to the pit, so he's going to take a tow and see if he can get that truck repaired and get back in this race. But right now, Danny Eshelman finds himself out front over Joshua McCullough, Andrew Navarro, Ron Morris, Zach Range, Chad Ross, Ryan Beist, Dylan Jones, Joey Allen, and John DeRugaris for your top 10.
You know, Larry did a great job of holding that truck up. I don't think I would have been able to hold that truck up there backwards like that. I think I would have been the rookie and try to, shoot back down. But he did an awesome job keeping it up in the wall.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't think about things like that. I mean, that really goes a long way with the other drivers. Nobody wants to catch a caution. Nobody wants to get involved in something like that, especially for a money race. These drivers are out here trying to get in a position where they can, either win their entry fee back or earn a couple bucks, whatever it may be. This is like a sort of a type of gambling. You go out here and you try to put your test of skill, but we all know that late track racing, anything can happen. A big wreck can happen, and you can go from 15th to 1st. So that's why a lot of drivers are put to these money races, and It's not. I'm not saying it's no talent. It's a better chance for somebody that has lesser skill to get luck into a good finish. You need to know what these vehicles can do. You need to know how to maintain a line. You need to know how to side draft. You need to know how to push. If you suck at pushing, let somebody go by and push you, or whatever it may be. There's a lot of talent that goes out here, and you don't get better at it unless you just keep doing it over and over and over again. And it's really hard on officials, and people get very frustrated. Tempers flare, and people protest and stuff. So this is a good way to get out here, as a lot of these drivers, week in and week out, race against each other, almost every week. So that's why you see a lot of the same names every single Friday and Saturday. Running these FEG PC races. So right now, Joshua McCullough doing a great job. Lights are on the pace car, so they still need to go around another lap. Danny Eshelman's in second, Andrew Navarro's in third, Ron Morris in fourth, Chad Ross is in fifth. But with these cautions and stuff, it kind of takes out what we seen last week, Derek. The green flag pit stops. The 15, 20 cars coming into lane and just fan out and come in and be able to take their pit stops and keep on going. And that was probably one of the coolest things I've seen in a long while. Last week, because they did it 3 times in a row. So, but right now we're on lap 16, or working on lap 16 of 50. So plenty of racing left here as Joshua McCullough leads the field.
Oh, sorry, I might get you.
That's all right. It is what it is. And everybody's got different mics. I moved from using a headset to a standalone mic. And the difference in your voice changes quite a bit, and I'm hoping eventually to get something better, but right now for just starting out, just going to use what I got. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say here as these 23 drivers continue to get around here. And you can even see Larry Bew, even though he's 2 laps down, he's going to get out here, and he's going to try to get back on the lead lap. And, all he has to do is keep that truck out of trouble. So the 69 of Larry in the back of the pack, but down, but not out.
Yeah, it's going to be I hope for more cautions and more bad luck for everyone else, and catch a break. With him hopefully, having a good truck, and took his fast repair, and he'll be all right. cautions do breed cautions, and unfortunately, cautions do take some of the strategy out, of the green flag run. But I kind of hope it kind of works out to where we go green and see the different type of strategies that might take place, and you might win on a better strategy than the other guys. So always that gamble. So go ahead. Sorry.
That's all right. We're going to go back here, fall back with David Sheets as they get ready to go green here. Joshua McCullough on the loud pedal as he leads the field off to the start. Down into turn one, Joshua McCullough, Danny Eshelman, but we're going to line on with David Sheets just a little bit. Just kind of back in the pack, see how the rest of the field is doing in front of him as he has to stay. He used to keep, can't go more than 2 wide. 2 laps as we're working on lap 17 of 50. That rule kind of goes out of effect once they reach lap 40 within 10 laps, and then they could kind of fight through it. But we also have 10 green-white checkers as we've used a few in the past to finish this things off. So it's they kind of got the right now no pit strategy going on as everybody's on the same pit strategy. But if they were to go green, I think some pit strategy and some drafting might come into play here. So you see David getting a nice run, kind of just working here. And it's just one of those things you just need to hold your time. We're only 18 or now 17 laps completed. We're working on lap 18. Plenty of racing going on, but you can see there, we're just seeing, I think it was, who's that down there? I think it was Joshua McCullough in the 05. Go down on the apron and come back up. Was able to keep control of that, but that's dangerous territory getting down off the apron in the corner. I really can't wash that truck up, but right now a little bit moving around. Going to go back. It looks like 3 wide as Joshua Maines is going to go to the outside. You can just see how they're fanned out, and I'm going to move back even just a little bit farther with Matthew Baker as he was involved early here, but you can see the calamity that's kind of happening in front of him. But Matthew Baker is no stranger running up front, and I'm sure he's going to take this number 5 and get it up there as soon as possible, as he's got a great run using the draft here on the 10. Catch up to the back of the pack here. So I mean, this is 19th position, Derek. I mean, everybody's only separated by a second and a half, so there's really not much time to make any mistakes as Matthew goes to the middle there and doing a nice move there, passing William Scott, moving him up to that 18th spot.
It's starting to get a little dicey as you see Matthew, weaving in and out of traffic, passing trucks, as
Oh, you see that check up there.
It's starting to get a little bit more dicey. You start to see some of the guys up front battling and pushing guys out of the way to, gain a spot. I mean, you're almost halfway. It's time to start finding your buddies because you can't wait much longer. I mean,
yeah, 30 laps is nothing here at Daytona. They go by super quick. They're running around here in like 48 seconds to get around here right now. So a lot of run, but you're going to see right on board here behind Matthew Baker, just a run that he gets on the outside coming in the tribal. He's going to use the draft in front of him to get that great suck up going down into turn 1. So it's just like that, just already caught up to the pack, and using that side draft there of the L3 of one of the McCullough brothers.
He's moving up slowly but surely. But once you get up to that pack, can't go nowhere unless you have a buddy. So he's going to try the high side and go around and make some passes. I mean, that's
and that was the 88.
Ooh. That was
Art Greco got a little loose there, but he was able to maintain right alongside Allen and that Lucky Strike truck machine. So yeah, the 88 able to keep control. So that was a close one there. That's for sure.
I mean, you have a lot of trucks in the front. You still have trucks in the back that are just sitting back and maybe waiting for the next big one so they can capitalize and be up to the front. Cody Neggles is lagging back. Who else? Jeff Merckx back there. Larry Bew, he's back there.
We're 3 wide now, Derek.
Oh, buddy, flipping and sliding.
Our first 4 trucks have it clean 2x2. Then the rest of the field 3x3 coming down the tri-oval. You see him dicing back and forth, still in trouble. This is the big one as everybody is going to get involved. Besides the leader of Andrew Navarro, not what you want to see in your. I mean, I guess maybe that's what you want to see in your mirror as Andrew Navarro is able to drive away. A few. We're just going to go back. It looks like
we made it through. Wow.
Yeah, so let's see. Oh, yeah, the 26 gets picked up. Danny Elsterman gets turned around. The 76. Matthew Baker with nowhere to go. Gonna push that 06 around and keep it going. Jason Maines makes it through. A bunch of drivers spinning down the infield. Doesn't look like too much damage. A lot of them just probably will need new tires. Trying to hold them trucks down on the bottom of the track. Slowing up.
Ooh, buddy.
Yeah, definitely making things interesting. As these trucks are trying to come to a stop.
Already, 2 cautions on the night. After last week's no cautions, it's just past. We're
coming
just
up
halfway.
Yep, coming up on the halfway mark. You're still got. There's still enough time. Even if they come in and get fresh tires and gas, you're still looking at possibly one stop for a green flag finish. Because I believe last week we were at 17 laps for a run here on the fuel that they are given. So no, that was Talladega. So it might be a little bit different here at Daytona.
It might be, yeah. It could be where you stop now, you only might have to stop for a splash. I mean, probably a gallon or 2, and you might be able to save it on the pace laps. It'd be interesting to see, for sure. It's not just halfway, and we're getting pretty dicey up towards the front. I mean, there's that one rare time that you wanted to be the leader. Because any other time it's a lonely unless you have a friend back there.
Yeah, it's something that how the crashes happen here, and it's like a domino effect forward, and it's takes you're just driving around, you're leading, and all of a sudden you're spinning around, and you're like, oh, what happened? And the accident happened a few cars behind you, but the truck's got so much momentum and are spinning around. But a lot of trucks taking new tires, fast repairs. Looks like the 60's taking a fast repair, getting 4 fresh tires. So we're gonna see how this all kind of pans out as a 42 of Andrew Navarro finally gets his truck underway, taking a little longer pit stop than some others, so he's going to drop back a few positions on this one, Derek.
Yeah, Jason Maines is first. He came out first. I wonder if he just took his fast repair and gone because he was involved in that. You got some new names up front for tonight. It's Jason Maines, Brian Kaiser, Joshua McCullough, Art Greco, and Steve Sizemore are your top 5, Jimmy. I don't know. How many people still have fast repairs? I mean, are they going to be aggressive? I don't know.
Yeah. It can be whatever right now. I mean, if they have none, it's just maybe you'll see a change in driving style on some of these drivers, but
definitely probably see the ones that still have one left and be more aggressive than the others.
Yeah, I mean, it's just an interesting watch. It's what do you do when you're in this situation? I know if I had no more fast repairs, I'd be a little more on the cautious side. Especially with 25 laps remaining. We're on our 3rd or 4th caution now, so I mean, anything can happen, and you don't want to put yourself in a predicament. But, you know, if you go and you stay in the back, you know, you might get wrapped up, you know, trying to stay in the draft, you know. So do you want to try to get up front with everybody else? But as you can see, accidents happen, even with the leaders. And, you know, that's what kind of happened here, as a good chunk of them kind of got moved, you know, to the back. So, but right now, Jason Maines is no stranger being out front, along with Brian Keyser in second. Joshua McCullough's in third. Art Greco's in fourth. Matthew Baker has found himself all the way back up to P number 5. Steve Sizemore is back in sixth. Mark Wandale, that started in the back, has find himself in the top. He's in 8th. John Derugas is in 7th. Zach Range is in 9th. Dylan Jones in 10th. William Scott, Danny Etchelman, Cody Neagles, Ryan Bates, Ron Morris, Joey Allen, Jeff Merrick, Mike Toomer, Andrew Navarro, and Chad Ross for your top 20. Then back in 21st, you have Kenneth McCullough, David Sheets. Well, look out for that on that 23rd position of that 69 truck, Larry Bew. Now he's only 1 lap down, Derek. So plenty of racing to come, and you know, he's not out of it yet. And we talked about that. You know, welcome aboard there, Danetta Adams. Come on, NGB. You know, so rooting out the team out there as they try to get a win here or podium finishes for the night.
Yeah, Larry Bew, he has 1 lap. I mean, you know, like I said before, he got cautions breed cautions, and all he needs now is that next one, and hopefully he gets it and has time to move his way up to the front, as long as he can stay clean and not get collected. Got a couple of drivers get EOLs.
Yes.
He's going.
All right, so we're
talking
going to
about playing poker later.
Hey, I mean, if you can't have fun now, gambling with their money and their winnings. So who's going to come to the table with the biggest wad of cash? But Jason Maines leads the field off here, starting on lap number 27 of 50.
You know, you can't pass for 2 laps, make it 3 wide for 2 laps, and, you know, it's going to get kind of hard when you're getting close to that lap 40 mark. Oh, the inside line has a big old checkup. I wonder what happened there. Jason Maines is just falling back.
Yeah, it might just be where he wants to be, you know, and let them guys kind of race it out in the beginning. Keep control of that bottom lane, allow some of maybe the drivers that he wants to work with in front of him. Maybe he doesn't want to burn that fuel, you know. Maybe he's at that point where he needs to save just a little bit. The 60 of Jeff Merrick choosing that high line, going early.
Ooh.
Outside that 11, is that 11 kind of stuck? You can't go up and get that draft of the 59. The draft being split between the 59. Dixie's going to be able to fall down in front of the 26 and Steve Sizemore, which is actually the 2 on our leaderboard. Brian Keyser is out front currently, leading the pack. Jason Maines hooks up with Matthew Baker, pushes him out to the front. Look at them go.
Yeah, they're moving. I'm sorry, I've listened to the driver's chat talking about the going 3 wide or not, and getting pretty vocal tonight, boys. I can see some tempers flaring. Oh, the stress level is starting to pick up. You know,
Stress level, yeah.
20 laps to go.
Sir, 20 laps to go. They're coming down out of turn 4 right now, coming down the trial. Well, Matthew Baker in the lead with Jason Maines giving him a great push. Those 2 trucks kind of pulling out a little bit. Then they're 2 by 2 behind them, starting with Joshua McCullough and Brian Keyser. Then Art Greco, Steve Sizemore, Dylan Jones, Jeff Merrick, John Dorigas, and Ryan Baste.
Another caution. This might work out for Mr. Larry.
Let's see it go back. It looks like William Scott has got into this one. Ooh, a little bit early there. As like the 10 gets spun around. Oh,
Okay, Andrew Navarro. Ooh,
that was close.
slowing down. Ooh.
A little bit of netco there on the 7 and the Affleck truck as he was trying to get back up on the track. So if they couldn't make it now, I think this here is going to end the fuel strategy for tonight as the trucks continue to get around the incident here. And we'll go back live. We'll see. We should see the whole field come down, I would imagine, unless they are actually good to go. So this is where you're going to see whether people stay out or come in. So Matthew Baker out front with Jason Maines in second. So this incident happened mid-pack, and this should allow Larry Bew to get back on the lead lap.
I know he's excited if he gets his lap back, because now he's back into the race, and just another reason why you never leave early because of an early incident. You never know what could happen.
Yeah, especially if it really does suck if you're the first incident, but you also have the best chance of getting the odds of getting back on the lead lap. And Larry, he got in that incident, took this front nose off, and he towed. That's why he went 2 laps down. So, but he should be able to get this lap back here this time around when the lucky dog is waved. And that will put him back in the lead lap. So we'll have all 23 trucks back in the lead lap. Matthew Baker out front, but like we talked about, everybody's going to come in for their pit service. We'll kind of watch Matthew Baker since he was the leader. We'll see what he decides to do. It looks like fuel only, topping off, so he can make it the rest of the way. Same thing with Jason Maines as they come out 1-2, as they came in 1-2. Again, Joshua McCullough comes out in third, Brian Keyser in fourth, Dylan Jones in fifth. So top 5, stay in the top 5. Big mover of the race right now is Matthew Baker, up 13 spots from the start. Then Art Greco currently in 7th position. He is up 11.
You were talking that we might be good on fuel for the end of the race.
Yeah, I think so now.
But you gotta think, how many green, white checkers are we gonna have? Are you gonna have enough for 1, 2, maybe 3?
Well, I'm sure these drivers are planning on not having to use any of those green, white checkers and just finish this thing on lap 50, whereas we're on, working on lap 32 of 50 now. So, 18 laps remaining here, and trying to, trying to get done what needs to be done. Derek, I need to pass this off just momentarily. You just step away for a quick second. My wife's calling me, so I'm going to put this on Matthew Baker. We got a couple caution laps to go. I'll be right back.
Yep. Well, you have Matthew Baker leading right now. You have Jason Maines in second. Joshua McCullough, Brian Keyser, Art Greco, Steve Sizemore, Dylan Jones, Jeff Merck, John Durgis, Ryan Bass, and Cody Naggles in your top 10. We're 1 to green, and feeling the sense of urgency right now more than ever. What is everyone going to do? Gendro, let's go. Ryan, Barry Keyser looking better. Let's go, Jeff. Matthew Baker probably trying to save some fuel on the bottom half of the racetrack. Getting ready, pulling up on the track, getting ready to go green. Guess he's going to pick the high side.
It looks like I made a back before the green flag start, but Matthew Baker's getting ready to come in or start this
Perfect
thing.
timing.
Start this thing off as the pace car comes in. So Matthew Baker and Jason Maines. Jason Maines down to the inside. Green, green, green. As it looks like Matthew Baker on the outside getting a really good jump. We'll see how that works out for the two drivers here in the early stages. Because that's going to allow the inside one to catch up really quickly to the 5.
You know, is Matthew Baker going to try to control both lanes? Talladega, it's a little bit easier because you got a little bit more room, I feel like. But Daytona's a lot closer to the track, so I feel like it's harder. You don't have very much room for error on that. Just in case you check up the line and everyone has to fan out, you don't have that room. But you got Mike Toomer right in the back, maybe anticipating another wreck, or you know.
I mean, this isn't a bad spot right here where Mike's at. You know, obviously kind of riding behind the rest of the field. 15 or 16 laps remaining here as we just crossed over lap 35 or on lap 35 of 50. So plenty of racing still left. You want to save some fuel, I think. I think a little bit of patience is in play with some of these drivers up here, and I know they're maybe getting itchy to getting up front, especially if you're kind of mid-pack, because you get that kind of sense of urgency being back as far as you are. But you know, back where Mike Toomer is right now is not a bad position. You can see him starting to go 3 wide. As on a lot of trucks just kind of bouncing back and forth. And one of the McCullough brothers are coming up behind Mike as well. Who is that? It's Kenneth. Oh, and it looks like another accident here. So Kenneth McCullough going to avoid that one. As it looks like no caution. Oh yeah, I'm gonna say.
Awesome.
I wonder what happened there. We're gonna go ahead and we'll do a review here. Oh, as we got it looks like Zach Range going with the grass here. Oh, gonna go ahead and kind of replay this as it happened. Quite a bit of car or trucks here tonight. See if we can catch where it kind of happened.
Oh, who's that?
Oh, looks like
Art
the
Greco.
Yeah, the 88, the 05, the 07. Looks like Navarro getting quite involved a little bit.
Now look at Mike Toomer right there, just chilling.
Yeah, able to use the apron and just kind of check up just a little bit, allowing the kind of the accident to happen. You see the 7 there. Really no control there, but coming up and hitting the 2. Kind of taking him out, getting involved. But again, Mike Toomer looking to go to the high side. Oh, just missing it. 10, nowhere to go. Oh, T-bones the 2 into the 7. The 59 checking up, trying to stay out of it.
Ooh, Larry.
Oh,
He got the 7.
They just tagged the 7 a little bit, so hopefully that's not too much damage there, but for the 59. But another incident here tonight, lap 37 to 50. So not getting the replay that we had last Friday, but still a pretty decent race as these guys battle it out. Matthew Baker on top over Jason Maines, Jeff Merrick, Cody Nagels, Dylan Jones, Chad Ross, Joey Allen, Kenneth McCullough, Ryan Baste, and Andrew Navarro for your top 10.
It's not very fun going around Daytona, on caution laps.
Oh no.
It's not fun at all.
The only fun part about it is, you know, maybe if you're the leader and you're trying to chalk up like as many lead laps as possible. If you're like in a league race or something, and most laps led. But yeah, it's not fun here, and I'm sure the drivers are starting to think about fuel as they did not come down pit lane this time, staying out, and you know, probably clutching around corners, maybe shutting their motors off, doing what they can do just in case this thing goes a little bit longer than they want it to. But I think you're going to see a lot of guys riding the apron around here, and maybe some of the guys that got involved in that incident, you know, if another incident ensues, you know, the people that got just wrecked might actually be in the right situation if they got enough gas.
That, and if they have if they still have their fast repairs. I mean, we've had a couple cautions with some people, same people in the previous accidents. You know, did they take their fast repairs? Kenneth McCullough looked like he took his. Larry.
Dave, I'm gonna go. We'll do a rear chase on some of the cars that we've seen involved, but looks like Larry's 59 or 69 is in good shape in the front. Who else is involved? I'll go through them all. The 7 of Brian Kiesler. His truck looks like it's in good shape in the front. Yeah, here's Steve Seasmore. So that too, seen better days, and gonna have a hard time getting the two to be out front. See Joshua McCullough seems to be okay. Might be just picking up some last minute repairs, maybe some optional, so he's got full power. John's got looks like his truck's in pretty decent shape. Here's a 7 of Zach Range as we're on the bar chase. We'll just go to the chase. So that his truck seems to be okay. A little bit of right rear damage.
Yeah, Joey Allen's truck looks good. Chad Ross's truck looks good. Dylan looked good. Jeff Burt.
Yeah, we talked about
pretty good.
Yeah, we talked about Jeff Burke early, and using that fast repair at the right time. So was it the right time now? We're on lap 39 of 50. We're gonna go ahead back up here to the leader of Matthew Baker, and the lights are off on the pace truck. So we're gonna go green this time by as we enter down into turn number 1.
Now is 3 wide out of the question? I mean, we're going to come to lap 40 when they go green, so interesting to see.
Yeah, they might have to wait at least one lap and still do the 2 wide. You should hear over driver chat when Jeff releases them. They can go 3 wide automatically. But it gets really intense, you know, at this time of the race. But right now, pace lights are off. The one using the bottom of the track, is he saving fuel for upcoming green-white checker, you know, attempts? Being the truck out front is, you know, maybe not the place to be, and some people might just sit back and let somebody else burn the fuel, especially if it's really close.
Yeah, that lead truck, you know, is the sitting duck of them all. I mean, too bad that, you know, the Aflac trucks in the pit road or in the back, you know, that's how I'd be feeling right now in the front. But as long as you could have some friends. I mean, Cody Nagels could be, you know, a good teammate and stay behind and push Matthew Baker to the win, but I don't know.
Yeah, but right now Matthew Baker looking to start, and Jason Maines looking to lead this thing off and get this thing going green once yet again. But again, from out there, Alejandro saying, let's go Ryan Based. Barry's saying, looking better, let's go Jeff. 7 C's Events is rooting for Andrew, the 42. And Baker's mom obviously rooting for that number 5 truck to get that win here tonight, as the 5 and the 1 lead it off here on lap 40. We have 11 laps to go, so we have to complete this, and then we will be down to 10 laps. It's pretty much go time now, Derek. Now's the time to get yourself up the front, get hooked up with your teammates to get your best finish as possible.
Yeah, you know, try to find your buddy and go to the front if you're not already there. You don't have much time. It's hard to pass at Daytona because if you don't have the room. It's very tight. Going 3 wide is going to be touchy. You know, we're seeing 2 wide to now 3 wide in the back with the 75.
I see the 76 of Rob Morse on that outside there with the 5 of one of the McCulloughs back there as well. Trying to push these guys up front. They're going to go 3 wide around here. They're going to have to take their time, Derek. They really got to be patient with each other. They really got to, just lift a little bit in the corner to maintain their lines, because if not, the car's going to wash up. And that's something that, if you're a rookie driver or new to plate tracking, you just got to kind of get used to it. And you don't need much gas following somebody in a draft. A lot of times you go down straightaway at like 70-75% throttle.
Yeah, I mean, if you're questioning about fuel, being behind the truck is obviously the best spot, but it doesn't look like they're worried about fuel right now.
All right, now they're 3 by 3 by 3 by 3 all the way back. Chad Ross, Matthew Baker, Jason Maines, Ryan Bates, Cody Nagels, Jeff Merrick, Ron Morris, Andrew Navarro, Joshua McCullough, and Dylan Jones in that top 10, but they're not separated by much. Top 21 are still within a second and a half. The 75 getting loose, finding his way around. That's going to send him around. That's going to bring out another caution here on lap 42.
Wow.
Looks like Joshua McCullough getting wrapped up along that with Ryan Bass. I'll go ahead and slow this down here. You see that not the lucky strike, but those cars getting involved here. A lot of cars checking up to stay down. That 13 truck just skimming it by. It's so hard.
Oh, Larry! Ooh.
Larry's going to sneak by on that one, and so is Joshua McCullough as he just taps him ever so slightly there right at the end. A few trucks getting involved yet again on a late caution. Plenty of there's still quite a bit of little racing here. Don't have a lot of laps left, but by the time we get these caution laps out of the way, we'll be down to about 4 to 5 laps remaining, getting us in closer and closer to that green-white checkered territory.
Yes, sir. It's going to be below 10 laps to go. They're going to be able to go 3 wide at the start. That's Matthew Baker's going to have his hands full with Jason Maines and Chad Ross and Cody Nagels right behind him. The easiest lap sled or uncautioned, Jimmy. I don't know. Matthew Baker. Matthew Baker's been in front the last 2 cautions, so he's probably tickled.
I mean, that's it's not a bad place to be, but being it's a plate track, it's a very dangerous place to be. It don't take much for somebody behind you to give you a wrong push or not a straight push, or they want to get by you and you get left to hang to dry and you end up falling back to the field. So, Matthew Baker and Jason Maines in a very good but, unpredictable positions, being on the front, in the front, trying to control the field to keep them behind them. And then back, Cody Nagels, Chad Ross, Jeff Merrick, Andrew Navarro, I think they're sitting in a little better position, being able to take advantage of the draft and a run maybe out of the corner. But we've seen a lot of these drivers, like in the past, how well they work together, and sometimes, they're pretty happy with just pushing whoever they've been working with all night to get, the finishes that they deserve without wrecking.
Right. I mean, first, might not get the biggest purse, but if you're in 5th, you still get something. So is not wrecking better than going for the win and getting wrecked and not making it to the finish line in a money spot? It's a lot of strategy, or what you're willing to give up, or but I believe you're right. Andrew Navarro and Dylan Jones and Danny Eshelman have a good shot of making it through to top, get to Dicey. It's going to be interesting to see who Matthew chooses to work with.
Yeah, it's really just depending on who they've been with. You know, I don't know the drivers, you know, paths between each other, and you see a lot of the same drivers kind of out here. We do know that there is teams out here. Obviously, you know, with the McCulloughs, it's, you know, they're on the back of the truck. I think you have NBG Motorsports as well, as they're out here as well. And then just people that have been around, and, you know, a lot of these drivers, you know, race around each other, you know, pretty much every night or every weekend. So these guys doing a great job here so far tonight, being able to stay out of trouble, putting their trucks in the position to come away with a prize purse. But right now, leading the pack is Jason Maines over Matthew Baker, Cody Nagels, Chad Ross, Jeff Merrick, and Andrew Navarro, Dylan Jones, Danny Eshelman, Ron Morris, and Joey Allen for your top 10. And then you have John DeRugas, Mark Blondell, Larry Bew, Kenneth McCullough, Joshua McCullough, Brian Keyser, David Sheets, Art Greco, Ryan Baste, Mike Toomer for your 20. And then you have Zach Range in 21st, and then Steve Seasmore and William Scott out of the race. So it's still 21 cars out of, or excuse me, 21 trucks out on the racetrack, and any one of those drivers can still win here tonight.
Well, the lights on the pace car are out. I mean, we're coming to green, one to green. So with what, 5 laps to go?
Yeah, this will be, once we get to the start-finish line, this will be the completion of lap 45, giving only 5 laps remaining. Can these drivers make it 5 laps? Can they finish this without using the green-white checker overtime? We will see, but right now it's Matthew Baker and Jason Maines out front.
It's going to be hairy. It's going to be scary.
Hairy, scary, intense. And I'm going to go and jump behind here, I think, and watch from the back as they start again, as it's going to get crazy here. Go to the far.
Are they going to try to make it 3 wide going in turn 1? We shall see as they're green. No, they're going in turn 1. Ooh, it's getting a little dicey. Ooh. But so far, so good.
Yeah, so far so good. Looks like all the trucks are kind of up to par. Everybody's used, I believe, their fast pairs are up, as we have only 5 laps remaining here as we work our way down the backstretch, following behind Ryan Baste as we go in down into turn number 3.
Everyone seems to be content so far, maybe hanging on. Oh, we got some action. People looking to the outside, falling back in line. Who's got 4 laps?
Oh, who is that? 76. And Jeff Merrick has found himself up in the P number 3.
Yep. Oh. Cody Nagels jumps to the outside. That was a tight one.
Yeah, and you always kind of hold your breath just a little bit when you see a lot of trucks kind of bouncing around just a little bit, especially when you don't have quite the angle to see if they're clear or not. But they're 3 wide back midfield. Oh, and it looks like the 26 is going to lose it, come down, take out the middle of the pack. Not going to make it to the end here. This is going to bring out another caution here on lap 47 as they race down to the start and finish line, the complete lap 47. So this will take us to our very first green-white checker. Now, who's saved fuel? We're going to go back and take a look at that here. You can see the 76 coming down, taking out a few drivers just like dominoes. Ooh, the 05 getting wrapped in there. The 13, the 88, the 59 getting tagged. There's nowhere to go.
I don't know who that was, but they made it by the skin of their chinny chin chin.
Ryan Beast able to slow down his 73 as he was collected in the last incident. So he's just trying to stay out of trouble, but it looks like, it just gets that thing stopped. Not getting into that 05 of, I believe that was Joshua McCullough, in the green machine. So a lot of trucks taking some damage here on this one, Derek, as we're getting ready to start, coming into these final laps. Next time we go green, we will be in our first official green-white checker overtime.
Now, this is where being the top car can be a benefit or a, because as long as you make it to, the white flag, I mean, and a caution comes out, then you're the leader. Sometimes the caution comes out and ends the race, or you're allowed to race to the back to the line, and those are what's fun, racing back to the line, because you could be 10 cars, 15 cars back, but something happened in the front and you just barely make it and get through and win the race. I mean, I've seen some crazy things happen.
Well, what these drivers want right now is they want to make this thing, they want to hit that white flag, so they need to make it around from a start all the way around, cross the start finish line, make this thing official. Then whatever happens. They can totally all wreck in turn 3 or coming out or into 1 out of 2 down the backstretch or out of 4, and this is when anybody can win. This is when the guy back in 18th position, 17th position can pull a hat trick and the win because he was able to avoid just all the calamity that happens in front of him, start from the front. So it really depends on how aggressive the front drivers are in middle of the pack. But as we can tell tonight, a lot of aggressive driving, a lot of people out there trying to get the win, trying to get them positioned for the best finish possible. But right now, the guy out front is Cody Nagels, followed by Chad Ross, Matthew Baker, Jason Maines, Jeff Merrick, Andrew Navarro, Dylan Jones, Ron Morris, Joey Allen, and Larry Bew. So at 69 truck, after being 2 laps down, has found himself in a top 10 position right at the moment, and still win this thing here, as he's been able to stay out of trouble since he's gotten his laps back.
Yeah, he's excited. I mean, top 10 after being 2 laps down, still having a shot. I mean, I know he's excited because I would be excited. He would obviously wish he was higher right now, but but at the same time, with just a little bit of luck, it's not a bad spot to be in.
No, it's definitely not a bad place to be where he's at, and you never know what can happen, as he could still get a great finish maybe in one of the money positions tonight. But right now, like I said, Cody Nagels, I haven't talked about him much. It's been kind of quiet, but has found himself out front, along with that 38 of Chad Ross. And we've seen Chad Ross up there just for a little bit. And then even Andrew Navarro making his way back up into the top 5. Kind of fell back, early in the race. Kind of had to work his way through the field, got wrapped up into a few incidents, and you can tell there's a little bit of damage done to that truck. But I think he's in a position where if he can just stay in that draft, he might be able to put one of his teammates or one of the other drivers that he works with commonly, to a great finish. But I think got a lot of fans out there for Matthew Baker tonight, as he is also in a great position in that P number 3 spot on the outside. Yet nevertheless, that's not a bad place to be if I was going for a win here. But give a shout out to Pointer Motorsports Supplies. Hello to you, and we're doing pretty good up here in the booth as we're finishing up here tonight at Daytona with the FEG PC and money race.
Yeah, Matthew Baker and who's that? Chad Ross look like they're going to be in a very good spot, because like I said, you can pull out and the guy behind you push you to past the current leader or the person in front of you, and it could work out. Or Cody Nagels could jump to the high side and Matthew Baker be the guy out front and getting pushed to the win by Andrew Navarro. So it'd be interesting to see who works with who.
Going down the start finish line now. Then the 12 or the 6 of that Cody Nagels leading the pack here. Has a pretty decent start here. Got a great push by Matthew Baker. And a caution out already. What happened back there? See what would happen.
Got a mischief.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I just wanted to oh, and the 59 maybe missing a shift, getting tagged, getting turned around and taken down to the infield right as the restart happens. So you hate to see it. So see the 59, excuse me, the 69, the Larry Bew, after making that comeback, and unfortunate. I don't know if this is a black flag where they come down and they end up in pit lane, like an invalid, like unsafe pit entry. But that could warrant Larry a black flag, and maybe something that the stewards could clear, as it was obviously not a something that he wanted to do on purpose, that's for sure. But anyways, Cody Nagels out front still. Didn't get a chance to get around here. It will go around for a couple laps here and attempt a second green-white checker attempt. And this is what we were talking about, Derek. We were talking about fuel, and who's got it, who doesn't. How many people are riding that apron? I mean, you do. I mean, obviously, the guys down on the lower side. It helps with saving some fuel, and who's clutching, who's cutting off their engine.
For the guys that are in the back, like you said, are they damaged? They need to go in to repair damage. Well, that's their chance to fill up on fuel and not have to worry about it. And these guys up front, having how much fuel do they have? Do they have enough? How much is enough?
Let's see here. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up their pit lap number on the tower.
Lap 31 for Dylan Jones. 31 for Andrew Navarro.
Yeah, so a lot of the front runners are on lap 31, with Kenneth McCullough coming in at lap 37. David Sheets was in on lap 43, and then a couple other people, Ryan Bass, Zach Range, Mark Bondell on lap 48. So there's a handful of drivers that are going to have the fuel and maybe get the advantage, if these front drivers can't are not able to save the amount of fuel. But they're coming up on being over 20 laps, over 20 laps out here, and obviously a lot of those laps under caution, but they're still burning some fuel. But it really just depends on the driver and how well they're able to save.
The top 5 all came in on lap 31, 20 laps. But I mean, you figure if you have 2 laps of caution, you can save 1 lap of fuel. So how much fuel did Cody and Matthew and Chad Ross and Jason and Jeff Merck all save? Kenneth McCullough is in a better position because he's not he came in on lap 37. So
a few more laps and we'll be able to go green here yet once again. But right now the caution car is out, and these drivers are just kind of maybe just going through their head where they need to be, how they want to set up these trucks, how they want to finish, who do they want to work with, make sure they don't miss shifts, all these fun things, and then be watch the guy in front of you. Sometimes people do miss shift. It happens probably too frequently sometimes, but it happens. And you really got to pay attention so you don't get in the rear of that vehicle that does that misshift where you get a huge jump. Or what happens, and a caution comes out as soon as we go green. But Cody Nagels and Matthew Baker looking to lead the field here as I think. Looks like where's the pace car?
It's never fun when you get a caution before you get in front of the pace car because now it messes everything up. So,
well, I'm not quite sure what's going on as I don't even see the pace car out there, Derek.
Yeah, no, they're talking about that they had a pass the pace car at the 1 to green.
Okay.
It's, one of those things that unfortunately.
So we're not out of time. We have plenty of time remaining on the event here, as we got over 2 hours to complete this event, and I don't think it's going to take another hour for these drivers, even if they were to have to drive around 8 more green white checkers. Obviously they don't want to do that. They want to finish this thing up, get this thing completed, and I'm sure Cody Nagels and Matthew Baker want to try to get on that podium along with the other drivers in the back of the field, but they have caught back up to the pace car. That was just interesting. I don't know if I've ever seen that. Pace, but the lights are now off on the pace car as they catch back up. So one more lap as we get around here tonight at Daytona. We're currently working on lap 55 of 50 or 55. We were supposed to just stop at lap 50, so a little bit of overtime here tonight. Who's saved? Who's got enough fuel to make it around here 2 more times? And if they have another caution, can some of these drivers that were in on lap 31 make it around yet again for another 3 or 4 laps?
Yeah, it's going to be close. It's going to be hairy. It's going to be scary and exciting.
Sounds like you're advertising for a Halloween movie.
Hey, Halloween is right around the corner, and I'm starting to become a Halloween guy.
Yeah, I usually keep the talk to iRacing stuff, but yeah, that's where one of the neighborhood houses that put up a large show for the neighborhood kids, and I usually wait till the week of in order to put it up so nobody can see what I have in store for them, as usually put a good display up with making the house look like it's on fire and a graveyard and stuff like that. So I actually have a neighbor. He's big into Halloween as well, and he just lives down about 2 or 3 houses from me, and we talk back and forth, and he's like, well, I don't want to get this animatronic if you're going to get this animatronic. So says, I think we're good on animatronics this year. It says, but I'll let you know if we get anything else. So but anyways, these guys are getting ready to go green, Derek. They're coming out of turn 4. Cody Nagels, Matthew Baker, Chad Ross, Jason Maines, and Jeff Merrick, your top 5. Pace car is in as they getting ready to go green here for hopefully what is the last and final time.
Yes. Green flag is out. Ooh. Just a reminder that it's under 10 to go, so they can go 3 wide immediately. They don't have to wait. So, is anyone going to go 3 wide? Or when are they going to go 3 wide? Because you know it's going to happen.
They really want to just be patient for 1 lap, especially the guys up front. Try to stay off that bottom. It looks like Joe Navarro is going to go ahead and move to the middle lane. Wants to use that top, but he's going to get looks like a couple of trucks looking to use that outside early. But Matthew Baker has control of the outside lane. Cody Nagels on that inside has control of the inside. 38 using a little bit out of apron and getting a little bit loose.
Everyone's starting to slice.
Oh, Jason Maines!
Oh, Matthew Baker gets spun.
Oh, white flag is out before the caution. Who will win this? Kenneth McCullough, David Sheets, Cody Nagel, 1, 2, 3.
Oh.
right now, Kenneth McCullough looking to bring this thing home. Can he hold off David Sheets and Cody Nagels?
Is Cody Nagels going to be able to get that draft to come around him?
Now a little bit of roughhousing in behind these three, but this is for the finish here for their first, second, and third. Can Kenneth McCullough hold on? And Kenneth McCullough will finish first here tonight, along with David Sheets in second, Cody Nagels in third. Looks like Danny Eshelman will come home in fourth. Zach Range in that fifth position. Dylan Jones in sixth. Mark Vondell in seventh. Ron Morris Jr. in eighth. Joey Allen will finish in ninth. Art Greco in 10th. Joshua McCullough in 11th. Ryan Bass in 12th. Larry Bu, after being many laps down, finishes in 13th. Mike Toomer, playing it safe back there, finishes in 14th. Jeff Merrick finishes in 15th. Chad Ross finishing in 16th. And then, unfortunately, Matthew Baker, Jason Maines, that were running up front at the end, finishes 17th and 18th. John DeRugers in 19th. Andrew Navarro is currently in the pits in 20th position, and Brian Kuser, 21st. Steve Seasmore and William Scott finishing out for your 23 truck field. So, what a finish. But we'll go back and take a look at the calamity that happened right before they went down, and you can see Andrew Navarro, trying to hold it, get a little bit of neck code, sent him down into the infield. And obviously the caution would have been thrown, but since they were able to grid across the line beforehand, the white flag was out. The results are in. Kenneth McCullough, David Sheets, and Cody Nagels are your top three here tonight for the FEG PC money race here on Friday night at Daytona.
Ooh. Wow, that was crazy.
I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. I mean, it is what it is, It's not something these guys want to see, I'm sure. But they were able to come home tonight, the top three, and sometimes you just need to have a little bit of luck. As we wait for the drivers to show up down in the broadcast booth, if they would like an interview. Looks like we have Cody Nagels down there right now. Cody Nagels was third. See if we can pull him up here. I cannot. So let's hop down in the interview waiting room there, Derek, and talk to Cody.
All right.
And Cody, this is Derek and Jimmy up in the booth. Do you copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Hey, man, a little bit of a rough race here tonight. It was filled with probably one too many cautions that anybody's used to, considering last Friday we went from green from start to finish. But you were able to keep that truck out of trouble and finish in third. Why don't you give us a little rundown of your race tonight?
Yeah, I first off, I have to say, I think my teammates, Jeff Merck, Matthew Baker, and I think we ran a pretty good race, and we were all in position to cash. And I had some early damage I had to repair off, and then late I took a fast repair, got my track position back, and I thought we were in a position to maybe go 1-2 or 1-3. Unfortunately, the wreck happened, and I still need to go back and look and see what happened, but it hurt our team pretty big. I was kind of hoping a caution would come out, but I lost the help I had, so at that point I was pretty much a sitting duck, and the two McCullough teammates were able to pass me, and I didn't have enough help to be able to make a run back at them, so I had to settle for P3.
Yeah, unfortunately, the wreck took out a couple of your teammates, but you were able to survive. Like you said, you got into it a little bit earlier, but able to come home here tonight in P number 3. So, for that, a little bit of luck at some of these plate track races is what's needed, and that's what kind of played out for you here tonight. But I'd like to say congratulations and give you a little bit of time for any shout-outs that you may have.
Yeah, I want to thank you guys for broadcasting FEG, and thank Jeff Ford for always putting these money events on, give me something to look forward to on the weekends, and then thank my NBG teammates that ran this race, Baker and Merck. Always a pleasure being able to run with them guys. And shout out to everyone watching on my Twitch channel, and my mom and dad for always supporting me.
All right, Cody. Well, again, congratulations from the CRM booth on the finish of P number 3. And if you haven't, go over there, give Cody some love, give him a follow on his Twitch channel, as we like to support our fellow broadcasters and entertainers out there. But again, like I said, congratulations, Cody.
Thank you.
And that was our P. That was P number 3. Cody Nagels coming in 3rd place. So give a little bit of time to see if the other drivers will show up here, as David Sheets and Kenneth McCullough of the McCullough Motorsports coming in 1-2, doing a great job of kind of wrapping up the money spots here tonight and staying out of the late calamity. So 2 drivers that we did not talk much about during the race, and here he is at the end for the win.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know where they started on the restart, but that's kind of being in the 10th spot, 8th spot. The advantage that something like that happens, because something happens in front and you have the momentum past the leader, and the caution didn't come out, and they were just in the right spot at the right time. I mean, yeah.
I mean, it is, but it is what it is, and they did a great job. And like I said, it takes a little bit of luck, and there's a lot of competition out there. And plate track racing is a different animal, because the odds are winning are just as high as they are low, because the things that can happen, net code, somebody just kind of losing it and trying to catch it, and maybe their input to their steering is at the wrong ratio, or just they get tagged and they just go sideways. And I mean, these trucks are traveling like 180, 190 miles an hour. So when you really lose control of them, you really lose control of them. And it's really hard to save something, especially when it happens on a plate track. And not that you want to take anybody else out, but it just kind of happens, and tempers flare and people get mad, and you just kind of got to take your lumps and move on, and hopefully next week you can do better. But anyways, we want to give a shout out to those drivers, Kenneth McCullough and David Sheets, for finishing in the 1st and 2nd positions, as I don't know if they're going to join us here tonight. I don't think I see them anywhere in the Discord, and that's okay. But again, shout out to Jeff Scott for bringing CRN on board with FEG PC for the money races here on Friday night. And tonight was at Daytona, obviously. We had a few cautions, and we had Kenneth McCullough Jr. as your winner, with David Sheets in 2nd. Cody Nagels was your 3rd place finisher. Then we had Danny Echelon, Zach Range, Dylan Jones, Mark Bondell, Ron Morris Jr., Joey Allen, and Art Greco for your top 10. Then you had Joshua McCullough, Ryan Baste, Larry Bew, Mike Toomer, Jeff Merrick, Chad Ross, Matthew Baker, Jason Maines, John Rodriguez, Andrew Navarro for your top 20, and then Brian Keyser, Steve Seasmore, and William Scott for the full 23 truck field. But do you have any thoughts on tonight's race, Derek, as we're getting ready to end tonight? And I guess we'll see what they have in store for next Friday.
Well, last week was a great race, going, green to checkered without caution, without incident, making strategy part of the race. And then this week is a totally different beast, going from no cautions to having a handful of cautions, going to overtime, even having a crash late. They were a little bit more aggressive tonight. It's Daytona. People rather, Daytona has a little bit more prestige no matter what series you're in, is, trucks, Xfinity, or next gens, or even GT series in the Daytona 24. Everyone wants to win at Daytona. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know. Maybe it was because it was on a Friday night under the lights. Who knows? It was crazier tonight, and it was exciting to watch because you didn't know the strategies, know who was working with who. So maybe next week we go back and we'll have probably another checker to green, green to checkered situation, or are they going to be more aggressive too, but depends the group of drivers that come in and race. But
Yeah, so if you're out there and you're watching the race and you like to get involved, you hit up Jeff Scott over there at FEG PC on his Discord and get involved. Just submit your admission and get in here on these races, as they love to have the more racers out there, the better. Also gets a little bigger a prize pool. But if you just enjoy watching the races, feel free to hit that subscribe and follow button and hit the bell for notifications. There's plenty of stuff going on here on CRN. We have 12 different broadcasts throughout the week, pretty much every single night of the week. Something's going on at CRN, but I really appreciate the fans out there and supporting the drivers out here. Again, I just want to say congratulations to Kenneth McCullough, David Sheets, Cody Nagels, and thank you, Jeff Scott, for having us CRN on board. But that's it from CRN here tonight. We'll see you next week.